Hello, if you don't know who I am, my name is Peter Dewey, and I've been a lukewarm Christian for a while. I've always said I was a Christian, but I've never really been a Christian man by heart. And I'm making this video to explain where I'm taking this channel and who I really am. Like I said, I've been a lukewarm Christian all this time, and I just don't believe that some of this self-improvement stuff is really who I am, or more so, who God wants me to be. So right around 2022, I stumbled across a self-improvement rabbit hole, mostly of this popular self-improvement guru named Hamza. And yes, he did help me with a lot of my bad habits and helped me become more masculine and all around better man altogether. But some of the things that he taught me and that I learned took me further from God. For example, there was this one video that I highly disagree with, and it was a video on dating advice, saying dude, you can't text her back too fast because you gotta be mysterious and leave her on the liver for a bit because then they just can't stop thinking about you. And you gotta make her wonder what you're doing all day and question if you even like her. And yes, to be 100% honest, in a way, yes, this does work. But when I tried it, it attracted the wrong type of woman in my life. It attracted the type of woman that led me into more and more sin. It attracted the type of woman that led me further and further from God. And I knew it was wrong, but I still continued in the relationship. And I would always curse. Like I would always curse. And even now, even I still do curse, but I'm trying my best at it and it's getting better. Every time I read my Bible, all the words would come in one ear and out the other. And I hated going to church. I wouldn't even understand half of the words the pastor was preaching about. I'd be asleep or zoned out half of the time, thinking about all the things I could be doing instead. And the only time I pray to God is if I needed something from Him or if I was going through something hard. I knew deep down I was a lukewarm Christian, but I just didn't want to accept it. I remember that I was hanging out with a friend that I really shouldn't be hanging out with. And my friend was introducing me to his friend, I guess, that just went to church with him. And then he proceeds to say, "Oh man, don't worry, he's just like us. He goes to church and he curses, so he's all good." Just like us? Just like us? I kept repeating that in my mind after I heard it, and right then and there, I knew that I wasn't a Christian. But even after that, I still didn't really change at all. It was only when I started hanging out with this friend, we'll call him Matthew. Now, me and Matthew were always good friends, and I guess you could say that we were both lukewarm Christians, but at the time, I never knew that he was also a lukewarm Christian. And somewhere in between a certain summer break where we didn't have school, he gave his life to Christ. I had a few classes with him the next school year, and we got really close because we were also on the same soccer team. And me, still being a lukewarm Christian, I saw how he acted with people and how he was different from everyone else. I was honestly ashamed of who I'd become. I saw him preaching to different classmates, and when they asked him a really difficult question, he wouldn't know what to say or what to answer. But I did. I did, but didn't say anything. I didn't say anything because I was ashamed of being judged. I was ashamed that I believed in Jesus. And when I was a lukewarm Christian, I always grew up in a Christian household. My parents and my father especially taught me all like the stories in the Bible and all like the whole 9 yards. So I knew almost everything. And with even having more knowledge in Christian debates because of watching videos on TikTok and in general, having more knowledge than he did in general in the Bible, I wasn't out preaching like he was, even with the little knowledge that he knew. And so the more and more I hung out with him and I saw how he acted, it honestly started to rub off on me. And I started to really understand the quote, "You become the sum of the 5 people you hang around with." Except this time, it was just one person. And the quote is 100% true. He made me closer to God, and I'm forever thankful for him. That school year was in 8th grade, and since then we've gotten a lot closer. Looking back at it, it reminded me of the Bible verse, "Iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens another." So if you're anything like me, and you know that you're a lukewarm Christian, but want to get closer to God, I would highly recommend hanging out with more and more Christians. But when I say Christians, I mean actual Christians. Not just go to church and the next day they go to parties. Not just go to church and the next day they go to school and cuss around and hang out with those types of people. I'm talking about Christians that actually have a relationship with Christ, because those are the Christians that would actually help you in your journey with Christ. Trust me, hanging out with them makes it so easy to not sin. It's like they're holding you accountable. And whenever I hang out with Matthew, I'd always try my best to not curse. I don't know why. I think it's because each time I did curse, he would always look at me with a face, and I would get that instant regret of saying that. Like the discernment that I knew that it was bad, and that I knew that I shouldn't have said it. Like even in church, I'd never curse. But as soon as I'd walk out of those doors, I was like a machine. It was every other sentence, and for no reason sometimes. I remember reading this verse in the Bible. It was Revelations 3:16. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. And if you're having trouble understanding this verse, I think of a story about a man on a fence that should help. I obviously don't know the exact story word by word, but I'll do my best to paraphrase. There was a man on a fence, and on his left side there was the devil and all his demons, and on his right side was Jesus and all his angels. He thought that he was going to be smart, so he decided to stay on the fence and not choose neither side. Then the devil and his demons left, and Jesus and his angels left. Shortly after, the devil comes back and says, "Hold on, I forgot somebody. There you are. Come with me." And the man says, "What? I didn't choose him, and I definitely didn't choose you." And the devil goes, "The offense is mine." So it's honestly better off to pick a side. The worst punishment isn't waiting for those who committed to something but did wrong. Yet, I believe that the worst punishment is reserved for those who didn't commit to anything and stayed on the fence. So pick a side. I made my choice, and it's been the best choice I have, I will, and that I am making in my life. Everyone is eventually going to have to make a choice. And even if you decide to not choose, then you've already chosen. But like I was saying, instead of having this channel to be more of a self-improvement channel, I'm going to make it more of a Christian self-improvement channel with advice from personal experience and advice from the Bible as well. And I'm doing this because I believe that this is what God has called me to do. Instead of just making videos for people's lives to be better, I'll be making videos for people's eternal lives to be saved. Thank you for sticking around to the end. If you like this video and want to see where I take this channel, please drop a like. And if you have any advice for me or feedback, please let me know in the comments below. But other than that, I pray that you have an amazing day. God bless. Bro.